Welcome to the IoT For All Podcast. Thanks for being here this week.
Hi,
Let's kick this off by having you give a quick introduction about yourself to our audience, information, just kind of background, experience, and as well as introduce the company a bit.
I'm Jingyi. It's currently my second year with Milesight, and I'm currently working as an IoT partner manager, focusing mainly on partnership and communication. Well, just a brief introduction about Milesight. Milesight is a fast-growing company, and last year we achieved a compound annual growth rate of around 75%. And many may see us in a lot of exhibitions or roadshows promoting a lot on smart building solutions. But we're actually a product provider where we provide a huge stretch of products from sensors, connectivity options like gateways, routers, and even controllers. And by last year, we have more than 1 million devices deployed globally.
So I wanted to start off with a question more kind of high level about kind of a space we've dove into in the past with other guests, but we haven't touched on it in quite some time. So it's a good opportunity to kind of update our audience. So regarding the smart building landscape, how have you all seen it kind of evolve over the last few years with the rise of wireless IoT solutions? So just kind of like big picture it for us. How are you seeing things where they are now versus maybe where they were a few years ago?
Over the past few years, the smart building landscape has shifted dramatically. From before that, we are mostly focused on having just energy saving or just simply cloud integration. But now we are all trying to focus or trying to shift towards wireless IoT solutions, and this is taking the center stage. And the key trends of driving this adoption are smart building solutions are mainly because of rising energy costs or even sustainability goals that we're trying to achieve and the need for operational efficiency. And buildings now are expected to be smarter and more connected, and most importantly, customers are looking for a safer environment to be in. And this can all be achieved with technologies like AI-powered analytics and cloud integration. These are playing a really big role. And at Milesight, we believe we're at the forefront of this shift, offering a very scalable wireless IoT solutions. And our focus is mainly on making buildings more accessible, more secure. And most importantly, we believe it should be future proof. So we can help businesses to optimize performance while helping them to reduce their cost.
One of the things I saw that I guess it was on the website. I can't remember where I saw it, but you all emphasize this people sensing driven smart buildings. Can you explain to our audience what does that mean? Why is that so important for creating these human centric environments in these smart buildings?
Well, people sensing driven smart building actually means integrating people sensing series sensors into different aspects of our smart building. We usually hear of people counting, but what is people sensing? It's quite a new term. But people sensing is more than just counting hits. It's not only just people counting. There's more to it. There involves more data, more details to it, like dwell time attributes like staff differentiation, children and adult differentiation, even gender. We can also understand more on customer behaviors like cut-through levels. And also this year, we also introduced fault detection, which is more on people safety. And by integrating these into buildings, it actually helps us to create a building that is more adaptive to human behavior. So it becomes more human-centric. But how do we integrate them into our building? We recently introduced FES concept to enhance building efficiency, and it stands for facility, energy, and space management. Well, facility management, it's a more broad concept where we try to enhance building operation efficiency. And energy management, I believe most of us are very familiar with it, where we try to improve energy efficiency, trying to save energy, and space management, where we try to utilize space as much as we could, especially if you're in a hybrid working area. Then because Milesight believes that smart buildings should not only be buildings that can create autonomous workflow, but it also should be able to enhance our comfort, productivity, and help us to sustain, or we can say sustainability. And also, most importantly, we look into people safety while ensuring that we create minimal waste. So we integrate people sensing in different aspects of our solutions to help us facilitate a more adaptive building.
Given the role you all play in the space, there are a lot of players in a smart building space, right? So I guess take me through kind of the spectrum of different smart building players and kind of what sets what you all do apart from other wireless IoT solution providers.
Well, mostly we believe we stand out by offering end-to-end smart building solutions that are simple, scalable, and also secure at the same time. For example, our wireless IoT solutions like people counting sensors and environmental monitors are designed to work together. And we call it the D2D protocol, which stands for device-to-device communication or data transmission, where this can happen without a gateway. And if you're trying to connect to your systems like HVAC or lighting systems, we can do that by using our controller. So it helps our customers to reduce integration headaches. And we believe that this helps us to set apart from the other competitors in the market. And we prioritize open standards where devices have high compatibility that we can help you to integrate products while working with other platforms or your existing systems. So customers can simply integrate them into their existing platforms or systems without any problems because we focus on an enhancement rather than a forced replacement.
A question I really wanted to ask you is just around buildings vary so much, right? The environments within these buildings vary, the technology that they already have, the existing legacy infrastructure that they have. So, what challenges does that legacy infrastructure and those integration issues that may potentially arise? I guess, how do you all face those challenges? How do you think about those challenges? How do you approach them and kind of get over those hurdles?
Well, there are many older buildings weren't built or designed for modern IoT. So we focus mainly on wireless and battery powered sensors. So we can deploy them fast and easy, can be done within minutes. And most importantly, we don't have to go through costly wiring or infrastructure overhauls because we're in a fast moving society today and we don't want any interruptions with our operation. And our solutions, most importantly, I mentioned before that it works great with existing systems. So bridges the gap between legacy equipment and building capabilities. So, like just mentioned, we focus on enhancements. So customers don't really have to worry about losing or have to change their existing systems. It works perfectly fine with their existing platforms or systems, even legacy equipment.
Now let's pivot a little bit towards more real world impact applications. Love to kind of dive in a little bit further here. So talk to us about how the solutions that you've had experience with deploying that you offer are really helping improve facility operations, energy efficiency, space utilization, these smart buildings. So any use cases or direct examples of what was going on before when you brought the technology in, what changed and why it's been brought so much value?
First of all, in terms of energy efficiency, recently we have a manufacturing facility in Europe where more than 100 current transformers were deployed to monitor energy usage and status of equipment to gain real-time insights. And that really helped them to slash a lot in terms of energy cost. And in fact, they managed to slash up to 21%, which is a lot. And because they got their hands on the energy consumption data, they can plan their productions during off-peak hours. So they managed to choose these hours when the electricity rates were lower. So they managed to save a lot in terms of energy costs. Other cases in terms of facility management, we had one case around last year, if I'm not wrong. It was a retail in Singapore where we have more than 30 AM319 sensors were deployed mainly to measure indoor ambient or indoor air quality that enable in-time actions to be taken. So indoor health and comfort for occupants can be maintained at all times. And in fact, we also do have a case in the US. It's actually in JAX, where VS350 people counters were deployed mostly in restroom entrances that allow foot traffic tracking so they can better arrange cleaning schedules because usually we clean based on class. But this one, you clean based on the situation, based on the need in terms of people counting. So that actually helps to improve cleaning efficiency.
With the work that you all do, I know we work in with LoRaWAN technology and other technologies, right? But so tell me about those technologies specifically and how they kind of work together to ensure reliable, scalable connectivity across these very at times complex environments within buildings.
LoRaWAN, I would say, is the game changer for smart buildings because it offers long range and low power connectivity. So it's perfect for covering large or even complex spaces. And we don't have to be drowned in Wi Fi congestions or frequent battery swaps because our products are all battery. And Milesight leverages these alongside edge computing to ensure that data can be processed efficiently while reducing latency and bandwidth strain. And our solutions are also built to scale. whether it's a simple floor or just entire commercial building, we can handle that. With this robust penetration through walls and interference resistant signals, we're able to deliver reliability even in these tough environments. That's why we believe LoRaWAN is actually a game changer for this smart buildings.
We've heard similar successes with deploying LoRaWAN solutions in certain environments to create that network, and connectivity has been pretty strong. Another part of the IoT industry that we've all known about is just kind of the partnership side of things. So just how important partnerships are in bringing solutions to life. And I know you all work with a number of different global partners. So talk to us about how important these collaborations are in accelerating innovation and adoption in with different smart building technologies and solutions.
If I remember correctly, we have more than 100 partners around the globe, and we place great importance in working closely with them. Main purpose is to create an end-to-end solution for our customers by combining our devices with their platforms. So it's like creating a full package for end customers. And without their help, we don't think we'll be able to reach such a wide reach of customers. They can help us to tailor better to the local market, offering more localized services in terms of compliance, language, of course, and regional infrastructure. So working with them really help us to penetrate into the local markets in a much faster speed and also effectively.
And one of the last things I want to ask you before we wrap up here is, can you share any success stories or deployments that really highlight kind of the transformation power of the technology we've been talking about today? I know we touched on some use cases earlier, but just like any real big success stories that can come to mind.
One of the success story that I really like is a historical theater in Italy because they had for air quality and they wanted data on the occupancy status or usage in restrooms. And they also want to have data on people counting, which they didn't have. They couldn't get their hands on. And most importantly, they need to do rewiring, but it will be a huge hassle because their walls are really thick. I've heard that one of their walls thickness was like 1 meter. It was really thick and it would be great hassle. And because it's a really old building, it's a historical theater, they have limited power points. But with our solution, they not only managed to enhance indoor air quality by deploying nearly around 50 IQ sensors in their theater halls, but they also managed to save a lot of energy by deploying PIR sensors, which is about 170 and 170 sensors on PIR where lights can control based on occupancy. And they also saw people counters, which is about 17 people counters, mainly in entrances to count, people counting heads, people going in or out, so they can better manage people flow. They can better utilize their space. The best part is all these were done without having to rewiring. All these were done just like that. And this helped them to achieve a smart and sustainable spaces while still retaining their historical landmark.
So for our audience out there who's listening to this, and maybe the organization they work in is looking to adopt smart building technologies or deploy smart building technologies. So any of those companies that are kind of involved in the smart building transformation piece, what's one piece of advice that you give them for how they can get started, things they should be thinking about, considering, make sure they don't overlook, anything along those lines?
There are actually many products and solutions in the market now, and I think we're actually spoiled with a lot of choices. But if you ask for suggestions, I would suggest to focus on the problem. Maybe high energy cost, not enough space, or bad orders in restrooms. Then you can start from there. You can find a solution that can solve that problem for you. But if you have a lot of problems, I would suggest to start from the biggest problem that you would want to solve. And this space approach will help you to gain ROI much quickly. And it's important to have a partner that is willingly trying to understand your goals and one that are also trying to relate to you instead of just only having great understanding on their products. And in Milesight, we focus a lot on solving problems, mostly in buildings. And if you're still new and you're unsure on what products or models to choose with, feel free to start with our iBox Kids, where it includes mostly everything that you need.
And for our audience who wants to learn more about kind of what you all are doing, follow up questions, anything like that, what's the best way they can do that?
They can connect to us through LinkedIn and they can also watch our YouTube videos. Yeah, we do have a lot of informative videos on YouTube.
We'll make sure we link all that up in the description and in all the content we put out around this episode. But other than that, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. It's great context in an industry in the space within the IoT industry that we haven't been able to touch on in a while. So a lot of exciting stuff going on, and thanks for your time.